Hi, this is Amy with the Hag Reads, and I am back for another video. This time, though, I'm not talking about books, so it would be more apropos if I refer to myself as the Hag Knits today. This will be an all knitty video, so if you are not at all interested in that, I have no plans to talk about books today. I'm just going to show some of my projects and kind of squee about the things I'm enjoying doing right now. So if that doesn't interest you, please feel free to not watch this video. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm mostly doing this for myself. I'm on a little bit earlier today, so I'm hoping, I showed some yarn last time, like this is the lime green, and I still don't know if you're completely getting the scope of the color, and maybe I have, so this is what I'm calling lime green, and this one is called medium thyme, and then I have another one called sage, which is somewhere in between these. And it kind of does look like sage, you know, that kind of silvery green color. So just so you get an idea, this is much brighter than this. And there's a darker hunter green, which I want to use for my Christmas scarves that I'm going to make for my son. But just so you have an idea, like, I think today is better for seeing that this is the lime green color. Instead of just, it looked much darker when I was showing it on the video before. What I wanted to show today, let's see if I can get the ends here so that I don't mess anything up. So this is my autumn blanket that I'm doing, and I've got the first stripe done. And so this is, so you've got red, that's bright red, and I think the color looks pretty true. The top color is called pumpkin, and I don't know if I talked about it before, but let me, I know I had stuff. Hold on one second. I've lost my skein that I wanted to show. I have no idea where I put it. Hold on one second. Alright, so here I am back. So I think before I showed you, or this, I may be thinking I did and I didn't. I shot 2 videos day before yesterday where I was showing this, and I could not get the video file to upload. It got corrupted or something. I just couldn't figure it out, so I wound up deleting that, and this is why I'm doing just a Knitty video today. So I may or may not have talked about this before. I'm making these scarves for my son, and I got this yarn, this color, which I still think looks rather red on the screen, but this is a bright nuclear biohazard orange. It is like almost neon, it's so bright, and I will show it next to the color that's on the, so this looks much oranger. This is a light pumpkin-y color, so if you went at Halloween and you were buying a pumpkin out of one of those big cardboard bins at the grocery store, it's the color that a pumpkin is, you know, when it's kind of, it's not a bright color, it's, it reminds me of the pumpkins in the bins. Not really bright orange, like when you take an orange crayon and you color a pumpkin picture. It reminds me of what an actual pumpkin color is, if that makes sense. So I got 3 skeins of this color, and it just said orange. Caron is the softer yarn. It's a little bit thinner thread. It makes a nice, so here we are with this. This is the grapey purple color and the nuclear orange. So when I got it, I had planned to make a specific thing with it. And at this point, I don't remember what, but I bought this color because I thought, oh good, it's a nice, bright, vivid orange. And it came, and it was nothing like what I was expecting. And so I didn't know what to do with it. Well, Halloween's coming up, and my son was talking to me, and he really wanted some striped scarves, something fun. And I'm like, oh, and I thought of this orange, and I have also this very bright grapey purple, which I don't know if that's coming out. It doesn't necessarily look like, but it's a grapey, it's not blue, it's a grape purple. So I've paired that with the nuclear orange, and this is the first of 2 scarves for him. And so you can see where this is a kind of not quite so squishy. It's a little bit stiffer for the fabric, whereas this out of the Caron, that's just a softer yarn, it's very squishy, very soft, you know, I just kind of want to do that with it. But so this is the first one, and this is I refer to this color combination as bleeding eyeballs, because that's kind of how you feel once you've looked at it for long enough. But he really wanted these scarves to wear, and then I think I talked about it before. I'm doing in the red heart style yarn, I'm doing another set where I'm offsetting the color, this orange color and this purple instead of the purple, because the purple that I have is much more of an amethyst color. It's not this grapey purple, and it does not look good with this orange at all. This will be the orange I'm using, so I'm going to use, and I can show here. So this is the start of the black one with the red heart yarn, and let me move it so that I kind of get a stretch that's not squishy. So you can see this one was knit with a size 10 needle, and I can poke my finger through it a little bit. This one is knit with a size 15 needle with the bulkier thread, and I can also poke my finger through this a little bit. But you don't get the same drape. But because this is a 10 and it's soft and squishy, and I put this on a 15, it will feel squishy like this. But if I had knit this at a 10, it would be more like this. Not quite this stiff and the way it holds its shape. This will be much more drapey, and especially after it's washed, because red heart, as you wash and wear, does become much softer. So that's the draw for it. It really is a workhorse yarn, and it's used for selling, you know, a lot of items at like craft fairs and stuff, because it's not going to fall apart or get worn out very quickly. You will typically get years of wear out of something knit with red heart. It's a good hardy yarn. So this is the start of one of the Halloween scarves that I'm gonna that for his Etsy store that he asked me, because he wants to upgrade his wardrobe, and it's just not in our budget right now. He's crocheting a few things, but he asked me if I would give to him completed projects, scarves in the same fashion of what I've made for him. So I have this orange and purple one, and then I did a second one, and this is his favorite. This is the lime green in the Caron with the bright purple, and I really like this too. I wish I had enough yarn. I do not have any more of the green. He used it for a baby blanket, and it's wonderful because it's a gift for one of his co-workers who's just had a baby, and he's just wrapping it up, and it's such a cute blanket. But we had just enough of this left for me to do one scarf, and he's not quite done yet. You can see on this scarf, he did a little decorative border on the end because he doesn't like fringe very much, but he wanted to have something kind of fun for the border, so he did a little picot stitch on there, and it's charming. But he hasn't done this one yet, and also the ends have not been tucked in. So, oh, yeah, he did get so here's the lime green. Let me see if I can, the ends are just not tucked in yet. He crocheted onto this knit scarf, this cute little picot border, which just gives it kind of a little, you know, finished look to it, and it's kind of a fun, whimsical border. But again, super squishy, super soft. He just loves these to death. He can't wait for September to get here. He's hoping to start wearing it, you know, because it doesn't get cold very early here, but in the evenings, because he rides a bike, and because he does work in a cooler at work, sometimes he'll take in a scarf to wear in the cooler when it gets colder. Overall, when it's not 107 every day. So he's super excited about these. And then the ones with the black that I'm knitting for his store will be out of the red heart. And that's only because I just don't have any more of this, and it's not in my budget to buy anymore. All the other colors for red heart that I'm going to do for the scarf, I have in stock already in my hoard. Some of it was for a summer project that didn't quite come off the way we wanted it to because I was sick. So we had them left over, and I thought, well, why not use them now? And that way he can do some of the things he wants to do for his personal life. And he typically sells some Halloween scarves every year and some Christmas scarves. And people are giving them as gifts or using them for themselves. But he really enjoys doing that kind of thing. And typically he will also crochet some scarves. But I think he's mostly focusing on blankets right now. So we'll see what he comes up with for his projects. But from me, he asked for, so I'm going to do for him with the black and the green, with the black and the orange, and then I have the purple color. It's that ball, right? Let's see. Right there, just the other side of that box. It's the ball that's right now. Now my hand is covering it, and you can't see it very well. But I'm not going to get up and get it because I just don't feel like it. But it's kind of an amethyst purple, so it'll be the black and the purple. And then I realized when I was doing my other video and I held these up together, my multicolored big balls. Yes, I said it, and you can make all the ball jokes you want because I have big chunky balls right here. But when I held these up together in the other video that I had to delete, I realized this is kind of a fun color combo. And so we'll do a few in that too. And so hopefully that will help him get started on the new look that he wants for himself. Most of his clothes right now, mostly what he's wearing are still girl jeans. So my son is my transgender son, and it's a female to male transition. So he still has mostly girl jeans, unisex shoes because he wears from Journeys the skate shoes, the flat, I don't know what they're called. I'm that lame. And favors boots. So shoes are not the problem. He would like to buy more masculine pants, some slacks that are nicer, and then he'd like some cargo pants in a couple of colors. And then he's wearing t-shirts with funny things on them, and a vest that is right now it's a girl vest. He's had a unisex one in the past, but he goes through them pretty quick. He wears the heck out of them, and so he wants to get more masculine shirts. He'd like a couple of nice button downs where he can go into the store and actually figure out what size he should wear. A couple of chest binders, the ones he has are wearing out, so he found some that he thinks he likes better. He got some that are down the front here. They hook, and so and they're so tight that it causes him some pain on the the bone that runs in here. So he found some that don't have that, but that have good enough reviews that he thinks they'll be more comfortable to wear, and they'll give him a flatter look in his chest than he's getting with the ones with the hooks. And then beyond that, he has a few other kind of specialty items that he wants to. He's kind of going for somewhere between, it's mostly a hipster look, but it's also kind of geek chic, I guess. That's the only way I can think of to put it. But he's got some very specific items that he wants to buy, and they are not in our budget right now. And his hours have been cut at work because it's a slower time of year. And he will get more hours as the holidays come up. But this is kind of his proactive way to make this happen more quickly for himself, because he's not going to do the hormones until we move. This is a way that he can, for himself, feel more masculine and feel like he's presenting to the world the image of how he feels inside. So when he came to me and he asked, and my initial reaction was, fuck, I don't want to knit right now. Like, I have my things I want to work on. But when he started explaining what he wanted to do, there was no way I could turn him down. He was so excited and so enthusiastic. And he thought of it himself, to make these scarves to sell on Etsy and eBay. And that he's got a few things he's doing too. How can a parent say no to that? That he's trying to, he's got this plan of how he wants to go about his hormonal transition, and, getting advice and help with, he wants to make a full surgical transition to male in the future. So he's got kind of this plan laid out for himself that he's really thought about it, and is genuinely sincere and concerned. But I think he feels like sometimes people don't take him seriously because his attire is still somewhere between male and female, and some of it's a mashup, and he's okay with that for himself. But I think he feels like sometimes people don't take his transgender status as seriously because he doesn't appear to be doing it, I guess, not manly enough. And I think it's whatever he wants to do. But if he feels unhappy in social situations because he doesn't have the physical appearance that he wants to have, then of course I want to support him with that. So there's no effing way I could tell him no. And actually the scarves don't take that long to make. I've had some struggle with it this week just because I haven't felt very good. Feeling very listless, and I stand up to do things. So I have trouble with anemia and low blood pressure as part of my heart issues. And sometimes I will get up and just walking to the kitchen or going into the restroom to brush my teeth, that act can completely wear me out, and I'm so frustrated because I have all these things I want to do for myself. I have art things and knitting things and book things, and I have blog posts I want to make, and just brushing my teeth sometimes, like, breathless. I can feel my heart, racing, and I'm not complaining because I'm alive. But I'm frustrated in my body right now because I have mentally things I want to do, and physically I can't quite get there. And I know when I was younger and I heard these things from people and I just truly didn't understand. Sometimes I think I thought maybe they were faking it, trying to get out of doing things. And now that I'm experiencing this, I feel like, sometimes I feel like, God, I hope my son doesn't think that I'm trying to get out of doing things, like trying to make him do more cleaning or whatever, because I like doing all of that stuff. I like the way our family works right now. And thank God the work I do is at home, because if I felt like this and I had to hold a traditional job, it would be disastrous. If I can't go in the bathroom, brush my teeth, and come back out without having to sit or lay down for a few minutes to catch my breath, how effing ridiculous is that for a human being? But that's how it is right now. And so this is something I can do sitting down. It's just been a challenge. I had a couple of really low spoon days. But I'm starting to feel better now, and so I've been getting more done, and I'm trying to catch up with my videos and stay so that there's one every day. But also, this is mostly for me and to have fun and that sort of thing. So I'm definitely going to knit those scarves for him. I should have a couple done actually by the end of this week. I'm hoping maybe to have 3 of the 4 done, and then at the end of the weekend maybe I can have a sample for each one so we can do the photographs and stuff, and then I can start knitting, because we can put them up for sale now. And even if somebody were to order one the day after they went up, it would only take me a day to a day and a half at most. It's well within our shipping time frame. We usually ship within 24 to 48 hours, and that's on all of our eBay and everything, so that would not be a problem. I could quickly whip one out, but I think that we won't see any orders until after September, and as we get closer to October, because this is the kind of thing I would love to start wearing it October 1st. For me, I am for sure going to knit this for me. And I think for myself, I also want one of the black and purple ones. I just like that color combination. And if I could, if I had the green yarn in the Caron, I would totally do this purple and green. 100%. It's so squishy and awesome. But despite this being the Red Heart being a stiffer, less forgiving yarn, at least initially, until you've stuck it in the washer and dried it a few times, and worn it a little bit. But at the gauge I'm hitting it, it will initially have that squishy feel, if not that totally soft feel. And then as I wash it and wear it, or as the owners wash it and wear it, and we always wash one time before we send out with a hypoallergenic laundry soap and softener, because when you get it and it's stiff like that, it's not as exciting as if you get it and it's been washed one time. And that way, for sure, if something has sat around maybe in the closet for a couple of months, it also doesn't have that kind of dusty smell. But I'm excited about knitting them, but I actually came on here to talk mostly about my throw. So I've got the first 2 colors down here. The red and the orange, and then the rest of the palette is, this is chocolate brown, although it probably looks black. I will be doing a black with it. No, giant knitting needle in the way. So there's the red. This color is called cornmeal, and I can show you. So it's a darker, it's kind of more of an autumn. So this is lemon yellow. I think this is lemon yellow. They don't, yeah, lemon. And this is cornmeal. Let's see. If I lean away, yeah. You can see the contrast between them. So this is kind of a darker, kind of dirtier orange, and this is more of a bright lemon color. So this will be in the scarf. And woo, and then this off-white, it's called Aran, I think, which not to be confused with the Aran weight yarn. So that's kind of what's going to go on there. And I'll show it as I go along. I have kind of two thoughts. I have kind of the thought where every row should be the same width, or every stripe should be the same width. But I also am flirting with the idea of making the darker colors maybe, and even that lighter, the off-white color, into smaller stripes at kind of odd intervals, just to give it some visual interest. But I haven't fully decided yet, so that's kind of where that sits. So those are the two major things I'm working on, besides the baby blanket that I originally showed in my first video at the end of the book talk. I'm excited about this because this project, the throw, is for me. And it's one of the, I've knit many things for myself that have wound up being for other people. And that's just my nature. If somebody comes over and they gush about something, you know, if I'm not overly attached to it yet, and I always mean to go back and knit one for myself, and it just never happens. I'm sorry, I'm really thirsty. So I haven't been showing it to many people except online with you guys, because I don't want anybody to tell me how much they'd love an autumn colored throw. Isn't that terrible? After this, I would like to knit the chocolate brown one with the cream color itself as a stripe. And then the other thing is, I showed you the color palette. I would love to do some scarves in that fall autumn colors. Absolutely would love to. I was checking out, I was scoping out yarn on the Red Heart website the other day, and they have a color called Carrot, which is kind of between this and that nuclear orange. It's like the yellow. It's a little dirtier, and I think that might be totally fun to put in a scarf with the brown and the red and the orange and some black. It strikes me as such a wonderful fall thing to do. And I would knit one totally for myself. And when I was talking about it with my son, he was like, well, maybe you could do some of those for my store too. I was like, yeah, I could, because I won't be able to wear it until we move, because I rarely, well, first of all, I have no neck. So the only reason I would wear a scarf, I don't generally wear them for fashion, except when I worked for a high-end women's clothing store. I have a little tattoo back here, and there was a no tattoo policy, so I would wear a lightweight cotton scarf to cover that. And but as a fashion thing, I generally don't, because I'm conscious about, I don't wear turtlenecks or anything, because I feel like somebody just kind of squished my head onto my shoulders, which are broad, and so I don't have that. My son has a little bit more of a neck than I do, and he really likes scarves. But that's all I have to say for today. I will be back with more talking and show my progress as I go along. You know what I forgot to say? I just bought these because I only have shorter ones, and I wanted to do this really long blanket without having to piece it together. This is my 60-inch circular needle, so it's a short needle, whereas most of them come in a 14-inch length, and you can get them shorter than that. I've seen some like this size for the length of the needle, but these are attached to, this is a plastic coated piece of metal, and so it fits in, and you can knit in the round. Like if you wanted a cowl, you could just knit it in the round, and you wouldn't have a seam. You wouldn't have to seam it together. But they're fantastic for blankets and stuff like that, and cowls and sweaters, because you can have a lot of stitches cast on for a large object. Now I am going for throw size, and I won't completely know until I get this one done if this is actually going to be the right length, because I have not done one in a long time, and the last ones I did were pieced together, because for some reason I'm an idiot and I hadn't discovered circular needles or understood that you could do something besides socks with them or sweaters. But I almost want to buy a second and third set because I have several other blankets I'd like to work on. But I'm hesitant, and it's not because of the cost. These are only like $15 a piece. And that's pretty reasonable for something of this length. But I'd love to start the coffee and off-white colored blanket as well. But I really am hesitant until I get this off the needles and see how long it really is, so I have a better guess at how many stitches I would need to cast on for like a queen size blanket or a full size blanket, which would be what I would need for where I sleep. But so I'm very excited, but eventually I will definitely buy more of these because I would have several blanket projects going at once. That's just how I am. God forbid if I should ever start knitting socks. I can't even imagine how many sets of needles I would be willing to purchase, because casting on projects becomes kind of addictive, where you see a pattern and you're like, I totally want to knit that. I have to knit it. This must happen in my life. And so there's one of the ladies on the podcast that I like. She's constantly casting on a new pair of socks. She must have, 20 or more cast on. And a lot of sock yarn comes in self-striping. So as you knit it, it's kind of exciting to watch the stripes as they just appear. There's something very magical about that. But I tried socks once a very long time ago, and I couldn't get the heels right, and I just gave up, and I've never tried again. I think when I'm more financially able, I will probably take a class or two and learn how to do it from somebody instead of just trying to do it on my own, because I think there must be something in the small turns and all of that, and I've never really understood decreasing either, and increasing. Those things have kind of eluded me. So I think I'd like to take a couple of in-person classes and learn some new techniques that way when I have the funds available. That is all I have. I have nattered on for certainly long enough about my knitting, but I'm having so much fun with it. And if I am the only person who ever sees this video, I am perfectly fine with that. Have a great whatever time of day it is. If you have watched this, thank you so very much. You are a magnificent human being. Happy whatever time of day it is, and I will see you next time. Bye!